The Falcons have made a pair of free agent signings right before the weekend begins. It is defensive end Morgan Fox and cornerback Keith Taylor. So we're going to break down both these signings, talk about what they mean for Atlanta moving forward, because these are two of the biggest positions of need for Atlanta, pass rusher and cornerback. Let's start with Morgan Fox, a decent contract, 2 years, worth up to $8.5 million. He's been around the league, sort of. Started with the Rams, played 4 years there, missed a whole season due to an injury at one point, so 5 years. And then he goes to the Panthers for 1 season in 2021. And last year, or the last 3 years, he was with the LA Chargers. So his best season in the NFL, I'd say, was 2022 with the Chargers, where he had 17 games, 12 starts, 6.5 sacks, and 8 tackles for loss. All of those stats and metrics right there are career highs for him in 2022. So I don't view this as a starter signing. If that's the plan, that's a bad plan. I view this as you needed some more depth. You needed more pass rushers. You needed more corners. A lot of your guys were free agents, so you had to bring some bodies in no matter what, and not everyone's going to be a monster contract signing. I believe Morgan Fox comes here kind of like James Smith-Williams last year, where it's a low-level rotational piece. This is not obviously enough for a team that finished 31st in sacks last year, but not every signing is going to be a home run. So Fox comes over. If you're looking for a big pro about him, because I think we all had the same reaction when we saw they signed Morgan Fox. Who? Had never heard of him before. The guy's always available. He missed the entire 2018 season with an injury, I believe, but he has not missed a game since 2019. Played in every single game from 2019 to 2024, but only 34 starts in his entire NFL 8-year career. As for his usage on the field, last year for the Chargers, he played 53% of defensive snaps. So this is going to be a guy that I think has expectations of getting on there for maybe early situations, or if you don't have any good pass rushers, which hopefully they do, third downs. But he could be someone that goes out there on first down so that Leonard Floyd, for example, could get a break. Although I don't think Fox is going to play outside linebacker. I think he's going to play more of a traditional 5-technique defensive end. But that is one of the two signings, a pass rusher. I know. You hear pass rusher, and everyone's ears perk up in ATL going, pass rusher, pass rusher, pass rusher? They got a pass rusher? Is any good? None of us know him, but welcome to Atlanta, and hopefully Raheem can get some really good production out of him. And here's what I think the front five is going to look like if the Falcons had to play a game tomorrow. It's going to be tough trying to slot someone in to replace Grady Jarrett, but Rook, second-round pick a year ago, is probably the best candidate for it. We're going to talk about Keith Taylor, the corner signing, next up on the show, but make sure to subscribe. We are less than 200 subscribers away from 34,000. So if you're looking for a Falcons YouTube channel that's going to keep you up to date on all signings, even guys that you've never heard of, like Morgan Fox and Keith Taylor, no offense to those two, scroll on down and click that sub button. Now let's talk about the other signing, the one that actually happened about 20-30 minutes before Fox. And this is former Chiefs cornerback Taylor, who was a 5th-round pick by the Carolina Panthers in 2021 out of Washington. He plays 2 years for Carolina. Then he goes over to Kansas City. And last year he appeared in 11 games and made 0 starts and very little production, 5 tackles. He was a reserve. He was a backup. He only played 79 snaps total a year ago. Did not play at all in 2023. His best year, if you will, would probably have to be his rookie season. He played 41% of snaps, and since then it's gone downhill. Now, he's played a boatload of special team snaps, so there could be a role for him there. You did sign Mike Ford, another corner who's a special teamer, and you brought back Kadarius Hodge, so I don't know if special teams what they had in mind, but oh, sorry, the lights turned on here. 1 second. I would think that this is a depth / training camp battle signing. I don't think Keith Taylor is a lock to make the roster or anything like that, but you can look at Atlanta's cornerback room in a second with me here, and you'll see they need to add some more bodies. They brought back Mike Hughes. You got a free agent in D. Alford, who I don't believe is coming back at this stage. So Mike Ford ain't playing a whole lot of corner as well. He's mostly special teams. Kevin King, Antonio Hamilton, they're free agents. So at the moment, in terms of actual corners that see meaningful minutes on the field, A.J. Terrell, Mike Hughes, Clark Phillips, that's pretty much it. Natrone Brooks has barely touched the field. Taylor hasn't touched the field much in his career recently. Ford has mostly been a special teamer with his career across Cleveland and Atlanta as well the last few seasons. So here it is, your 2 depth signings for Friday. Atlanta continues to make a decent amount of moves, but just no big splashy moves. You know what I mean? The biggest contract they've given out was to Divine Diablo, who signed his deal today, worth up to like $14-ish million. Leonard Floyd next up at about $10 million. So everyone's waiting for the big swing, the big name pass rusher to come to Atlanta. And maybe they're still trying to get Trey Hendrickson. It doesn't appear that the Falcons and the Bengals are anywhere near a fair deal on compensation. Cincinnati wants a first. No one wants to give up a first for a 30-year-old. That's not crazy. But that's where we stand right now. 2 free agent signings. We're going to run through all the moves the Falcons have made and the departures as well. But let me know if you're still watching right now, because I don't expect everyone to be super engaged with 2 people they've never heard of. Shout out your city for me in the chat. We have just wrapped up our live coverage for the 5th straight day of NFL free agency. So shout out to Mr. Haha and everyone that's been a big part of our live coverage. But let me know where you are tuning in from. And let's finish the episode off by just looking over all the acquisitions and the departures for Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris, in case you have not been keeping up super closely. We'll start with the moves, starting with Jake Matthews, an extension. Diablo, like I mentioned, $14 million. I think it's a 1-year, $8 million contract. So we'll see where it goes. If Troy Anderson's healthy, there may not be a big role for him, but that's a decent amount of money guaranteed without a role in mind. Mike Hughes, I think it's a 1-year, $9.6 million contract. So I don't think this should scare Atlanta from going corner early in the draft to make a nice triangle for the future of Terrell, maybe like Will Johnson or a second-round pick, and Jesse Bates. Leonard Floyd, maybe the most notable name, former Georgia Bulldog, coming back to the Peach State to end his career possibly. I think you're going to get 8 sacks out of him. I think you should strive for more, but I believe he's an improvement for Matthew Judon. Then you've got Ford coming over on a special teams ridden contract. Taquan Graham re-signs. He's now one of just 2 players from the 2021 Falcons draft class to still be on the roster. Kyle Pitts and Taquan Graham. Kadil Hodge, Brandon Parker, they all re-signed along with Storm Norton and our new friends, Keith and Morgan. So those are the signings that the Atlanta Falcons have made so far. Make sure you check out over at Fanatics this great deal, 25% off this hoodie. They've got a lot of sales going on, free shipping, all that fun stuff, but those deals come and go on Fanatics. Don't put it off. Chatsports.com/Fanatics. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. So if you want to get some awesome Falcons merch in your closet, visit it today, scroll on down, and use our link to support the channel. To recap some of the departures, we know Dahlman, Jarrett to Chicago, Richie Grant to the Bay Area. Eddie Goldman decides, I'm not going to retire. He'll keep playing in Washington. And that's pretty much all of their departures. And Avery Williams, he went to the Eagles today. He was one of the other remaining 2021 draft picks altogether. So Avery Williams signs with Philadelphia. And then there were 2. All right, that will do it for us. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Like the video on your way out the door, and I'm going to see everyone later.